Saludos and salutations, Broncos country, and welcome back into another exciting episode of Broncos Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited for us to be here today. We have got a very special guest that is going to join me and Libre in tonight's show. We cannot wait to sit and talk to you guys all about the Broncos. I do apologize for us being a little bit late. We got kind of held up, technical issues at first, and then just kind of shooting the breeze, and then we kind of forgot, like, oh snap, we got to get the show rolling on the road. So we do apologize for the tardiness. That's on me, but we are so excited to talk about what happened this past weekend against the Buffalo Bills, what's to expect with the Broncos going forward, and what is everyone saying about the Broncos, ladies and gentlemen. Please make sure you are ready, because you are not going to want to miss a single episode of today's show. So with that being said, make sure your food is warm, your beer is cold, that you're comfortable as hell, because you're not going to want to miss a single moment of the action. So without getting set, get ready, because here we go. And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adan Diaz, and joining me to my left or right, depending on which direction you're watching, is my co-host, the incredible, the amazing, my best friend, El Bronco Libre.
What's happening, Broncos country? How you doing out there? What a great feeling that we are heading into the AFC Championship game.
And let me just say, I messed up. I was supposed to introduce our guest after Libre, but I clicked on his name by accident. So he's here anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome. Give us a big Mahai salute to our special guest for today's episode, Notorious. How you doing tonight, my friend?
Doing pretty good, man. Feels good to be here, Broncos country. I'm so excited to be here. Let's run it.
You know
Let's
what?
Go.
I gotta tell you, when Johnny's not here to run things, like, it makes me appreciate his job a whole lot more.
Oh yeah.
So and also before we get started, Viva Los Broncos did not go on the air last week because I messed up. I didn't schedule the show correctly on my behalf, so that's on me. I do apologize for that. Or 2 weeks ago. Sorry, 2 weeks ago. Last week I had to work. But Viva Los Broncos will be back this Friday. Guaranteed, or Libre buys you a pizza.
Totinos, here we go.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is your first time here. Welcome in. If not, welcome back. Before we get started with today's episode, as we always do, we got a couple of things we'd like to ask you to get out of the way first. If you can please show your support for us here on the Orange and Blue Network by subscribing, sharing, or commenting, liking this video or any of the other videos we have here on the network. The beautiful thing about this channel is that there is something for everybody, and we have so much content for you to indulge in. It's almost impossible to do it in one's lifetime, and we're continuing to grow. But in order for us to continue to grow, we need your support. We need your help to help us spread the word to everyone in Broncos country that we are here and we are not going away anytime soon. For any business inquiries, you can email at broncostalk2020@gmail.com. Audio listeners, regardless of what platform you're listening us to, we are everywhere, and your support is much, much appreciated as well. Reviews are very appreciated too. If you like, you can screenshot it, send it to our Twitter handles right there at the bottom of the screen. Mine is at a 6'10" Mexican. Bronco Libre is at Bronco Libre 5280. Today's show is sponsored by Dubby, just like it always is, ladies and gentlemen. If you've never heard of Dubby, it's basically got no sugar, no calories, no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial colors. It's formulated with nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, and nootropics, which is their patented neurofactor nootropic, and the caffeine is derived directly from the fruit. And if you use the code OBN10, you'll get 10% off your order at checkout. Again, that code is OBN10 to get your 10% off at checkout. Shout out to Dubby and for being a sponsor of this and all the shows here on the Orange and Blue Network. Ladies and gentlemen, we are winding down to the end of the season. So in case you haven't heard or don't know, we still got a fantastic show schedule going on for what I believe is most of the year going forward, including into next season. So if anything changes, we will let you know. But if you don't know, basically all the times that I'm going to say to you right now are in Mountain. So please keep that in mind. We have the Orange and Blue Blitz, which airs every Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. We also have the Broncos Bros every Monday at 7. We have the flagship show, Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue, every Tuesday at 7:30. Every Wednesday, before we go on the air, we have the Mile High Symposium for those of you that are Nuggets and Rockies fans, as well as Broncos fans. They got you covered with all the up-to-date news going on in either one of those sports worlds. Of course, Broncos Talk, which you're currently watching now. Every Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m., we have the Mile High Outcast coming to you live, of course. And then on Fridays, we have the only Spanish podcast available almost anywhere, which is Viva Los Broncos. For any breaking news, we have the Fresh Squeeze. So make sure you hit that live notification button, that little bell next to subscription, so you always get that notification when breaking news breaks out in Broncos country. And then, of course, before every game during the season, we have the pregame show, which is the Get Buck pregame show to have the guys help you get ready for all of the action, the injuries, who's in, who's out. And then if you're not able to watch the game, you can also get the Bucking Booth play-by-play and the post-game show, which is the Buck Your Feelings at the end of the game, where the guys bring you all of the day's action, the good, the bad, and the Bucky, as we like to say around here. So please make sure you tune in and show your support. I think that's it.
That's it. Dang, I think Notorious was falling asleep over there for you talking too much.
I heard somebody deep breathe while I was doing my shtick, man. I'm like, I'm trying over here.
And that might have been me or not, but I'm gonna blame Notorious because he's a special guest.
But guys, I know we kind of got started backstage and we almost went into the whole thing before we forgot we weren't recording. So let's talk the game. Libre, obviously you were there. Notorious, were you at the game too?
I was at the tailgate. Stayed at home to watch the full game.
Okay. Well, at least you were closer to the area than most of us were here on the network. But let me tell you, from beginning to end, I was literally on the edge of my seat. I thought I wasn't going to get to the edge of my seat until the fourth quarter because we know what these Broncos like, how they like to keep us in suspense. But I thought that, I was trying to kind of believe the narrative because the closer we got to this game, the more the narrative became that the Broncos were going to be the team that couldn't beat, Buffalo, because Buffalo was on a mission. Almost, you can say some were saying that they were on a mission from God. Josh Allen, MVP, possibly MVP runner, guy that's going to come in and win it all, needs to win it all because he's running out of time. The team is there. The magic is there. Everything is there for them. They're going to go to the AFC Championship game, maybe even the Super Bowl. Like, people were looking past us already, Libre. And for most of this game, it was such a back and forth match between him and Bo Nix. I was having flashbacks of what happened last year during the wild card round. Now, you guys heard us talk about it here and on some of the other shows as well. We just kind of kept reminiscing, that the Broncos were going to hit off the gate, and that they needed to keep the momentum going. They actually did everything we expected them to do, except for maybe I don't think anybody expected that many turnovers, which are fantastic. But the fact that the Broncos, correct me if I'm wrong, Libre, they never even punted I think they punted the ball once. Yeah, they did. They punted the ball once. So it wasn't like last time where it was just punt after punt after punt after punt after a score. So they were putting up points when they needed to be. They took advantage when the defense gave them the ball. And regardless of what people might say about the ending, which is the fact that for almost 3 whole quarters, the game was completely flag free on either side of the ball. That interception by McMillan is an interception. And I think that Buffalo Bills fans or people that aren't fans of them that are sticking to that narrative, I think it's time for them to kind of get off their high horse and realize that it's an interception. It is what it is. It's the rule.
You know, like you say that, like I work with a Buffalo Bills fan, and he actually came back into the office today, and he was at the game as well. And we were talking about that play. I go, look at the difference between the Chicago game that happened over just on Sunday, and it happened exactly the same thing. But the difference was, and the commentators, Chris Collinsworth was even saying, he goes, "Oh, Buffalo Bills fans, you don't want to look at this." But the difference on it was that he actually made a football move and then was touched while he went down. So that was the difference, as opposed to when they were throwing the ball there, and when McMillan intercepted it, he did not make a football move. They were just falling down to the ground at that point, and he just happened. When you do that, you have to follow through throughout the whole catch. And McMillan just happened to roll over him and just happened to take the ball away from him. And that is the difference that a lot of people are, like Bills fans, really are looking at that way, saying, no, he was down. Like he was touched down a lot. That's not the same scenario. Like, you have to make a football move in order for it to be considered down if you have your back or whatever. And that is the huge difference that a lot of the Bills fans are not wanting to realize as well.
I agree. I think that they were just kind of trying to find something to latch onto to say, hey, this is why we lost the football game. Now, the other two flags, the first one, I don't think would have really matters, because even if you call that one back, there was still the roughing the passer.
Yep.
So they were still going to move up to 15 yards. The second one, I will say, was a little bit iffy. I still don't think that should have actually been a flag, because if you look at it in slow motion, the wide receiver still was able to, he had his arms up. It's just like that initial contact.
Where he had his hand down, where he
had his down. So that was a little bit ticky-tacky. It could have went either way. So I would have been okay with that one being called back, but it wasn't. All right. So I just feel that it's just that they're trying to find, because what if it was the other way around? What if, let's say, McMillan doesn't make that interception and Cooks makes that catch and the Bills hit the field goal and we lose the game? Yeah. Like, would we be saying the same narrative? Would we be sitting here right now saying, hey, Lee, we're like, hey, we lost because McMillan didn't win that interception, the possession, and the Bills went for a home run hit, they connected? Like, would we still be like, no? I honestly would say no. Technically, they had a safety that didn't get called. Yeah. It was a blatant safety, Libre. I know you've seen it. I know you've seen it.
I saw that too.
I saw it during the game too. And I said, hey, that's a hold. And it happened in the end zone. And the ref was like 2 feet behind Josh Allen. And he didn't freaking call it. And I was like, okay, if that's how we're going to play it, probably because maybe they felt that they gave him 2 free flags the play before. I don't know. I can't prove that. That's just my personal opinion. Be it as it may, the Broncos went out and did what they were supposed to do, which is win this game, beat Josh Allen, beat that Bills defense. And I couldn't be more proud of these guys. Like, yes, the defense bent. They gave up touchdowns and what have you, but it wasn't what it was last year. Last year, it was the Broncos defense that was completely overwhelmed. It was the Bills playing with their food. They were at home. And it was just kind of like, okay, you got us on this one, but we are going to get you back next year. And I feel, Libre and Notorious, that this win went and hurt them a whole lot more than their win on us last year. Just for the simple fact that the Broncos made the playoffs as a team who had no business being in it, who were just good enough to get in it. And we're showing the world, like, hey, we might not win it all this year, but you better be careful for us next year, because we are coming and we are going to take it all. And I can't tell you guys how excited I am to see how far this team goes this year and how far it could potentially go with certain upgrades and changes next year.
Well, going off of that right there about last year compared to this year, how we talked about being the revenge game itself, we have one player to really, really change that narrative with our defensive side, with our good defense already. Number 9. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Tufunga is one of that game change, especially on the defensive side, So with that being said, like having him and Greenlaw being added to the defensive side just helped solidify this defense a little bit more. But imagine, like I just saw today, J.K. Dobbins is back. He came back from practice. So that is going to be a good missing piece that we're going to need. If he's going to be available to play this weekend versus the Patriots, trust me, the Patriots are not going to be ready because they haven't seen tape on him for a while now. So he's like, how is he going to be now? Is he going to be good off of that Lisfranc injury or whatnot? So if he can be out there and we can actually get the 1-2 punch that we had leading up to his injury with RJ Harvey, it's going to be hard for them to stop. Shai actually brought up a point. He was sending me a message here today and saying, why do you think the Broncos are going to beat the Patriots? What are you going to do? Part of that is going to be that main reason as to why we're going to beat the Patriots is because we have J.K. Dobbins is now going to be back for this game. We have RJ Harvey. He's going to be that 1-2 punch for us. And then it's going to be able to get Evan Ingram out there. I think we're going to be able to do a lot of good play action because of that. Even though he mentioned that they have a good pass rush, but I don't think they faced a good enough offensive line like we have right now. We have 2 offensive linemen that are all pro. So I don't feel like they've played anyone that has been to that level as of yet. And Shai, the Broncos are going to dominate the offensive line, even though they have a good pass rush, but we're going to get it out there and we're going to dominate.
Notorious, your thoughts?
So kind of add on to what you said earlier about Bills fans probably getting heartbroken about that McMillan pick. Did anybody else happen to see that video that went viral of that Bills bar going dead silent after that pick?
Oh, yeah. I did.
Yeah, I literally saw it this morning, and I immediately kind of smiled to myself and just like, see, they underestimated us.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like probably since when Bo first started with us, we've always been underestimated. We were predicted we were going to be worse than the league. We were going to be playoffs. Bo, I'm trying to remember who said this one. I think it was Nick Wright.
Yep.
That said that Bo was at most going to have 2 more years, and then he was going to be somebody's
flame
backup.
out. Yeah.
So, to me, this game, just reflecting also of like meeting and talking with some of the guys on the team, it feels like it's more than like what we get credit for. I feel like that despite like the odds against us not having JK and now us not having Bo now, it's like we don't get enough credit for this. And even though we're at home, we're still the underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
But day in and day out in these past few games, we've proven we're the overdogs. So, like, to me, I'm not really worried too much, but I'm not that overconfident that, we're going to go against the Patriots. It's going to be an easy win. Like, no. I'm not the kind of person that's immediately counting us out. So, I know that our offense is very hard to read. Mm-hmm. And I know our defense can pull off these kind of surprises that I don't think Drake May is ready for. He had at least like four fumbles in their game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, they're going to say weather related, it's all because of the weather and whatnot. But either way, both teams were in that same situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get to some of the comments here, guys. Let's start off with Leroy's cousin, Juan Marquez, saying, "Let's go Broncos country. What a win. What a story is about to unfold with Stiddy on Championship Sunday. Also, shout out to Broncos country for not selling tickets to Patriots fans."
You know what? It's funny is like you say that, and they are blocking people from certain zip codes that are not within the Rocky Mountain region from actually purchasing tickets.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's only to like Colorado, Utah. It's all these teams that are in the Mountain Time Zone, South Dakota, Kansas, like Western Kansas or something like that, that have a certain zip code that are only going to be able to buy Bronco tickets through Ticketmaster or some of the outlets. I already have heard like some people are already like possibly buying VPNs or doing something like that so they can do that. But again, I think it goes out to the actual billing zip code. When you go try to check out, you're not going to be able to do it because you have to enter in your zip code on where your credit card is registered to. So we'll see how it is. I know there's ways around that as well. I do have a friend that they are selling tickets 5 rows up in the South Stands, $900 a ticket. So if anyone is interested in tickets in the South Stands, they have 2 tickets, $900 a piece, so $1,800 total. Reach out to me and I can get you into contact with her so we can get that done.
Also, shout out to Broncos Country. Only 300, I read.
310
missed no shows. So that's better than expected. And you definitely did see that in the from the camera view. So
honestly, I'll be honest, we've actually had other games that had like closer to just 100, 150. So to have that many for a divisional playoff game was kind of surprising to me. But I do have to say, this all year long though, we've had the least amount of no-shows in the last 10 years that I've seen in a while. So being able to see this has been phenomenal, which I love it. They're showing out, but again, too many Bills fans were able to purchase tickets for the game. So, but the best thing about it, they wear blue, so it's a nice orange and blue area, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they fit right in.
Yeah.
Robert Merrick saying, "Go Broncos! We going to the ship, baby.
We're going to the ship. We're going to the ship. Bronco Rob, let's go."
Tim Dog saying, "What's up, fellas? Notorious, what's up, my dog? Libre, thanks for letting me crash your tailgate yet again."
Of course, bro. Again, your familia. You're always welcome to show up, even if you have a ticket or not. Come down. We're gonna have a big tailgate again this weekend as well. So
it's the last
it's gonna be great. The last one of the year.
Yeah.
Of the 2025
season. Yeah. Jay Weaver jumping in saying hashtag Stiddy party in hashtag Stiddy City. He's about to become a Denver legend.
Look at that. You know what? Look at his profile pic. That is the profile pic roaming around X right now. I know I don't have it on there yet, but I think I might have to change it because this is right now Stiddy City time.
And then Shai Vargas asking, how do you feel about Stiddy? Now, I will say we were talking about this just a few before we went live. I'm torn. And I said this on Twitter. And there was a misunderstanding. Our good friend Mike kind of reached out to me because he thought I was talking about Bo's injury. And I was like, no, I'm not torn about Bo's injury. I'm devastated about Bo's injury. What I'm confused about how to feel is about Jarrett Stidham. Now, 80% of me is all on board with Stiddy City, hyping him, do it for Bo, all for that. The other 20% still lingers in my mind because I was telling my co-host here, I was at the last game Jarrett Stidham started, which was 2 years ago against the Las Vegas Raiders. Now I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, this should be a cakewalk for Stidham, and Sean Payton was telling us he was going to be the light that was going to light the offense, and he was going to be the guy that was going to lead us into the following season. No need to worry about Russ, because you have to understand this was during a time where a lot of people were really, really upset at the fact that the management was throwing out a crap ton of money because it was already written on the wall that Russell Wilson was not coming back as a Bronco. They were going to cut him. They were going to have the biggest dead cap hit of any team in current NFL history. So when you talk about a handicap, that was a giant handicap to handle. So when I sat there and I saw Stidham's offense, like he had one, maybe two couple of good drives, but it wasn't anything that really convinced me like, yeah, Jarrett Stidham is the guy. Let's give him the keys and let's see what we can work around him next year. I unfortunately didn't see any of that. And this was a meaningless game against the Raiders. And it was a game that we lost. So I'm hoping that what I saw that day doesn't translate to this coming Sunday. I'm hoping that it was just Sean Payton just throwing whatever sticks, and it was just, hopefully he's had 2 years. He sat behind Bo Nix for the last 2 years. He's sat with Sean Payton for this long. There's a reason why Sean Payton kept him over Zach Wilson. Because remember last year it was him. I would feel a whole less confident, way, way, way more if it was Zach Wilson going into this AFC Championship game. Okay, because I'd much rather have Jarrett Stidham in this offense than Zach freaking Wilson. So that whole him acquiring him, I still don't get it. I'm glad he's gone, and hopefully he stays in Miami. But before I turn it over to Libre or Notorious, whoever wants to take over, I just hope that I'm wrong about what I saw and that he goes out there and he puts out a show. Because I don't know if you guys have seen the shows. Everybody outside of Broncos country is already writing this man off. And to me, I feel like the more people write him off, the better his story is going to be if Stidham can go out there and prove them wrong.
Go ahead, Notorious.
All right, so kind of reflecting, the game as well. I have never experienced like a Broncos win that felt like a loss. The moment we got the news on, Bo's out, Stidham's in. I had company around me at the time, and they were immediately said, "Oh, well, I guess Patriots win it Sunday." So, to me, how I'm choosing to see it is I'm looking at the positive of it. Stidham was originally supposed to be given the keys to the kingdom for New England back when Tom decided to go with Tampa. And even when he was with New England, he had made some pretty good plays, especially to Demaryius Thomas, RG.
Rip.
And and Stidham was one of Sean's biggest pickups from free agency, which I kind of wondered on why he did that. And then in the quarterback sense, but he did it for a reason. And Sean is probably one of the best backup quarterback whisperers you could ever have. Look at Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston with Seattle, or not with Seattle, Saints.
The Saints, yep.
Imagine you look like prime time Jameis Winston. Same with Teddy Bridgewater. And I think we picked up Teddy right after that season.
Yep.
Yeah. That was when the quarterback battle happened between him and Drew Lock. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So there's a reason for everything. I like to think that, Stidham can be possibly a future starter. Maybe for us or a different team even. But, I'm not counting us out at all. I feel like he's aware of the situation. If he felt like when he was battling with Bo for quarterback one that he should have been number one, this is his chance to prove everybody wrong. This is his chance to get back at New England for dropping him and going with Cam Newton, which, by the way, Cam didn't even last that long with New England either.
Nope.
So when I hear it's a Stiddy City, I'm behind Stiddy City. There's no party like a Stiddy party.
You're right. And just some of the reports that came out, what was the very first offensive signing that Sean Payton did when he got here to Denver? It was not a flashy quarterback, wide receiver, defensive person. It was Jarrett Stidham. It's because he already saw him already in the past. He saw him that Josh McDaniels wanted him, because he evaluates quarterbacks and he's very good at doing that. And he saw what City is capable of doing, his potential that he has. Yes, we pay him as one of the highest backup quarterbacks in the league for a reason. And because of that, because he knows the insurance policy that you need to have in a good quarterback. And that's what Sean Payton saw in him. But now I was just reading a report that I sent over to you, to Don here earlier today. And in this article, it said that Stidham had an opportunity to go back to New England, and they were going out there is because of McDaniels wanting him, because you have to remember McDaniels is the one part of it, is the part of the reason he drafted him while they were there in 2019. We get it, Mr. McDummy, we call him here. But they were trying to get that back because they know what he has, the potential that he has there. And when Stidham actually turned down the Patriots to get more money to go out there back to New England, and he basically told them, no, I'm going to take less money to stay with Denver because of the quarterback room that Sean Payton is building here in Denver, and I want to be part of that culture. Now look at what's going to happen. The biggest storyline out there, his fifth start ever in his career is now going against the Patriots in one of the biggest games of his career ever, maybe even going back to high school, back into college or whatever. This is now the biggest game, the national stage. Everybody has their eyes on you for this game itself. So I do feel like just being able to watch him play out there, you see that potential. That New England game when he came in and actually when they benched Brady, and when he went out there and was playing there and throwing that couple touchdowns to Demaryius and all that, like you see that potential already. In the game with the Raiders, when he played with the Raiders against, I think it was the 49ers, where he threw over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns or whatever. Like you have to see, like, yes, he has that potential. He has a strong arm. What I love about it, I know I don't get into the stadium enough times to see the players warming up and doing all that, but seeing some of the videos that have come out with him just already out there, and his arm strength is there. He has a great arm. So what is also great, I don't know if you guys saw this as well, where we had some local social media or radio personalities that were reaching out to Nick Foles saying, hey, Nick Foles, because they had a list of 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah,
let's pick up these 5 quarterbacks. And then Nick Foles goes, hey, guys, I understand your frustration. I feel it. I feel what you guys do that. But guess what? The Patriots do have a hard time playing against backups in championship style of games. And, he's referring to himself when he beat them in the Super Bowl. So hearing that alone, and with them not knowing what Jarrett Stidham is really capable of doing, even though they know the talent that he has because they drafted him and all that, you don't know what he's been doing these last several years since they left you. And especially with being with Sean Payton, like I feel like Sean Payton is good, has him already ready to go. He's ready. I think he's been ready to go all season long, and now this just happens to be his opportunity. Yes, it's the biggest stage right now, the biggest start of your career, but I believe that he's ready to go, just like they're letting us know. And I don't think the Patriots are going to be ready for us. We're just because they don't have any tape, and it's going to be hard to play against that type of player when you don't have anything on them. And you're like, how do we prepare for him? We don't know what to do. What coverages to try to set up? And that's a dangerous team as well.
Well, let me just say one thing. There isn't tape on Jarrett Stidham during the season. The only tape that the Patriots have is his preseason games. And let me tell you, that's not much to go on, just for the simple fact that Jarrett Stidham was supposed to look fantastic against 2s, 3s, and 4s. And that's why he did. So that's not giving them a whole lot of what it is that they should look forward to in Jarrett Stidham. So this isn't like trying to get a leg up on if Bo Nix was playing. This is totally the Patriots kind of flying blind in that aspect. Now, you did mention J.K. Dobbins. And then your cousin Juan Marquez also reminding us that Wattenberg is back at center. So Sean Payton is going to have to call a really fantastic game where it's not going to be. See, the crazy thing about the Buffalo game is that, they were telling Sean Payton that you need to run the ball because the Bills defense wasn't that strong against the run, but they were stronger against the pass. And Sean Payton took that as a challenge, and Bo Nix threw for, I don't know his stats off the top of my head, but he challenged those defensive linemen, and he only made one mistake all game.
Yeah.
And then Whip Hero saying, as a Jags fan, I hope y'all beat the Patriots, as I hate the Patriots more than y'all. So
Word.
If history has told us anything, Whip Hero, it's that the Patriots have been 0-4 when it comes to playoff games at Mile High. Not even Tom Brady, as great as he is, and one day is going to earn the quickest vote into the Canton Hall of Fame, could not win at Mile High. So I'm pretty sure that's up there with him losing twice to Eli Manning in terms of like worst moments of his career, if you asked him. But this game specifically, I feel like everybody's got New England to win just because it's Drake May. And I got to tell you, that Houston Texans defense gave Drake May a whole lot of problems. And if it wasn't for the fact that CJ Stroud played like complete garbage, we'd be having a whole different conversation right now as to who the Broncos would be playing. I said it before last week where I said I would be more scared for the Broncos to play the Texans because their Texans defense is relentless. They are really, really good. They are right up there with the Broncos defense in terms of being just ferocious. And for that Steelers game, you saw them at their potential. And for that New England game, you saw them in the elements, mind you. You know, Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter were just complete, absolute beasts at their point of attack, and they were mercifulness against that New England offensive line is a lot more beat up than they're letting on. So Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonito definitely
there it is.
Can get home.
Check it out. Coop
number 0.
Jay Coop.
And of course, Zach Allen. I'm telling you, these guys, New England has not faced an offensive line like the one that Denver has. Denver has the best offensive line this season in all of football, if I'm not mistaken. So them thinking that they're just going to come in and run over Denver just because of Bo Nix isn't at the helm is going to be New England's biggest mistake. And it is up to Sean Payton and Jarrett Stidham to keep that team guessing, because I'll give credit where credit is due. Mike Vrabel has done a fantastic job turning that team around in just one season. Okay, because after Tom Brady left, we all saw that the New England was spiraling out of control. Bill Belichick couldn't do it without him anymore. He left. They brought in Joe Mayo. Joe Mayo couldn't do it. He left. And I said that Mike Vrabel leaving or getting fired by Tennessee was the stupidest thing Tennessee could have done. Yeah. And I still stand by that statement. And anybody that doesn't believe me or agree with that, look at where Mike Vrabel is now and look at where Tennessee was this season.
Yeah.
And tell me I'm wrong, Libre.
You're wrong, but you're right. Yeah. You know what? Like, one thing is that when you go back and look at the game, even if Houston came in and
can you guys hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't hear you guys.
You can't hear us? I can hear you.
Technical difficulty again on my end here.
Dang, I was going to tell him to go reset his audio or hit the testing because that's what I had to do.
Yeah, I don't know if he can hear us. He's muted on my end. Maybe I can unmute him. Oh, you're muted on your end. You're mute on your end.
Unmute.
Yeah, I can't unmute him.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
If you can hear us, try unmuting. You can't unmute guests because they just mute themselves. Okay, but going back to the game real quick. I do feel like even if Houston would have won that game or come back and set that up, I wasn't afraid of them coming in. Yeah, it might have been a low scoring game because of how good their defense was. But guess what? Just like what the Patriots were able to do to them, they have to play that offensive side as well. And I think our defense is too good of a defense for CJ Stroud to even play. Again, remember when we played them early in the season, we knocked out CJ Stroud and he went out with a concussion. You know, it sucked for them for that part itself. But let's add him to the stage.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Can you hear us?
Now I can hear you guys.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay, you guys, I can't hear you guys now, so give me a second.
Okay.
It's like musical chairs.
Yeah.
There we go. There it is.
All right, we're back.
But I do feel like with our offense would have struggled probably with them. But being if our defense took care of them like how we did early in the season, how the Patriots did this last weekend or the weekend before, like you could see that that's what our defense would have done to them as well. I don't think they were ready. They were also hurting as well. They also didn't have Nico Collins out there, so that was another big factor for them.
Let me just say that, and for those of you that didn't see the post-game show after the game, I was on there with Johnny Baki, and I was so excited, and I was just acting like an idiot. I had my foam finger here, number one fan. I kept poking at it. Me and Johnny were just having a grand old time, so excited. Buffalo lost. And, this was before Josh Allen hit the podium and, gave the crocodile tears and all that. But we were so excited. And then somebody, no pun intended, but broke the news that Bo Nix broke his ankle, and me and Johnny were just kind of like dumbfounded. And we hit the internet and we couldn't find anything. We thought that, somebody was trolling us. And then Adam Schefter goes on it and says, boom, it's confirmed. Bo Nix ripped up something in his ankle, and he's out for the remainder of the season because he has to have surgery within a day or two. And when I tell you it took the air out of the show, if you go back and watch that, like I am just so dumbfounded. And Johnny, being the stronger person that he is, just continued to go on and kept the show going. We were able to get through it. But right after we went off the air, I just looked dead in the camera and I looked at Johnny and I was like, it took everything in my power to not go off just cursing at the top of my lungs because I really wanted to. But as soon as that play happened where I saw Bo try to run with the ball, like I started yelling at my TV, like, why is Bo running with the ball? He should not have been trying to run for more yards. That's what the running back is for. That's why I say every single time Bo runs, I hold my breath because his protection as a passer is gone the moment he starts to scrimmage. Yes, I know he's fast. Yes, I know he can run, but I am just always afraid that there's going to be one linebacker who doesn't really give a damn. It's going to come in and hit him with all he's got because of, momentum. And that's what linebackers do. So, but I went back and I saw the footage before I found out when, it was that he got hurt. We all thought it was when he took the kneel down, and we're like, well, maybe somebody stepped on his ankle, but it was like, no, nobody stepped on him. And no, I didn't notice the kind of gingerly walk because he was walking on adrenaline. And we all know, guys, that when you're on adrenaline, like nothing hurts, like it'll sting or it'll tingle, but you're going to keep going. But as soon as you stop and that adrenaline goes away,
sus, you got it. It's right there. I've been there. I've played ball before, and I know exactly what that was, what you go through, because you're right. That adrenaline is just through your body. But you know what? One thing talking about this as well, what Sean Payton hasn't done, what hasn't he done with Bo Nix? He did not put him on the IR.
Exactly.
He did not put him on the IR because of the way that the I guess with the bone that got broken, they put in there. I don't know if I know they put in some screws and maybe a titanium plate or whatever to help stabilize it. But if he feels good here in the next 2 weeks, and if we happen to make it to the Super Bowl, you could potentially see Bo Nix starting in the Super Bowl based off of that. And it already came out as of yesterday because he went in yesterday and had his surgery already done in Alabama, had it done, already back home yesterday evening, and he's already in good spirits. So based off of everything, you could potentially see Bo Nix starting here in the Super Bowl. And that's going to be freaking phenomenal. I can't wait for that to happen because it's potentially that can happen. That's part of the reason, I guess. They called the doctor right away. Like as soon as they found it out and they knew exactly what bone it was, they're like, hey, we need to schedule this. We need the surgery as soon as possible. That's why it was done the very next business day, because they weren't open on Monday because of the holiday. But on Tuesday, they're there, got it done. And now he has several weeks to rest. He really doesn't need to practice or anything like that. He already has everything down. It's just going through maybe walkthroughs, doing all that. And that's a potential that we could see him being the starting quarterback in the Super Bowl if we happen to make it.
I would like to petition Roger Goodell. I know you watch the show, that we move the Super Bowl to the end of February for no specific reason. Let's give the fans. Let's make them get thirsty for the Super Bowl. And I'm sure you'll get more people watching it than any other event throughout
the thing is that there's a problem with that. Bad Bunny is already scheduled for February 8th.
Yeah, I know.
That's when his visa expires. His visa expires on February 9th, so they have to do it on the 8th.
Yeah, Green Day is opening the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
so.
which is, I know my youngest son, he loves Green Day, and he goes, "What? Green Day is opening the Super Bowl?" I go, "What? Green Day is really opening for Bad Bunny, huh? That's crazy."
Hey, I don't know all of Green Day's music, but Boulevard of Broken Dreams, that was the very first song I heard from them. That's a great freaking song. If you've never heard that or grew up with that, you were missing out. I remember when I got my friend into wrestling, we were playing, I think, 2K15, back when you could customize your own entrance, so you didn't have to use like the ones that were in the game. You could upload your own tracks. So that was him, and we would always laugh because I'm like, dude, that is like so sad when you're coming out to the ring.
That's funny.
I just thought it was funny. But I really do hope that we get not just Wanberg back, but we get J.K. Dobbins, and hopefully not on a rep count, because in order to win this game, gentlemen, we are going to need every little bit of help that we can get. We are going to need the defense to come out and show out just like they did against Buffalo. We are going to need the offense to go out there and put up points just like they did against Buffalo. Limit the turnovers, keep the laundry clean. Let New England work for that point magic. Now, they are touting a pretty good offense in Butte and Stephon Diggs, of course, and Douglas. Travion Henderson and Stevenson are nothing to turn your nose at. You know, I know Travion had a pretty bad start to the season, but mid-season that guy picked up, took a lot of fantasy owners into the championship, I'm sure. So our linebackers are really going to have to make sure that running game doesn't get going. The secondary, cell block D, need to lock it down, because I'm telling you, Drake May has not run it. Well, aside from what he saw last week, he thought Houston was hard to deal with. He has not dealt with what the Broncos defense can bring to the table when they come in and bring the pain.
And he hasn't been in a stadium that the fans are going to be wild, where he's going to have a hard time communicating with his team, because trust, it's going to be the same thing again this weekend. And I hope that I happen to lose my voice again, because I still feel a little scratchy here in my throat right now from yelling so much over the weekend. But yeah, this is another thing that I don't think they're taking into effect for themselves, or some type of factor for them to say, hey, that crowd noise is really no joke. And it's going to be out there. Broncos country is going to show out this weekend. We haven't had this game in 10 years, and it was against the Patriots the last time as well. But it's a whole different ball game, and it's going to be much louder. I'm expecting this game to be the loudest I've heard in a while and I hope this is the loudest we've ever had. And then just going back to it, like I just actually checked the weather. It seems like the weather keeps on going down and down for this game. Originally, when I first saw it at the beginning of the week, it was going to be a high of 35. I just checked it now. It's going to be a high of 27 now. So it's going to be crazy cold.
Yeah, I was just looking. I got a weather alert. I don't know why, for Friday here in Chicago. We're going to be at -2.
Is that with the wind chill or actual -2?
That's our high. I don't know what the wind chill is, but Monday was pretty cold. Monday we were only at like 4 degrees. So this coming Friday is going to be even colder than Monday. So a lot of people's cars are probably not going to start.
So there's like an Arctic front or some type of Arctic cold coming this weekend.
It's heading
because for us, Friday here in Denver is going to be a high of 26, but Saturday is a high of 19. And then for the game, a high of 27. So In a way, I'm kind of glad that the game's now at 1 o'clock, because as soon as the sun goes down here, like it drops at least 10 to 15 degrees quick here in Denver. But I'm glad it's at 1. Hopefully we have the sunlight right there when the end of the game by 4:30, 4:30ish when the game should be ending. But it's going to be cold. I've already bought like hand warmers and so forth to go in there. And it's actually a custom. It's not custom, but it has a Bronco logo. It's like you see the players on the field wear them, but it has like a little pocket where you can put the heated hand warmers that you shake up and then you put in. Like I'll have to go buy a couple of those because I didn't know that pocket was there. So I'm going to have nice toasty hands. So when I do pull them out and holding my beer, I drink it real quick and then put it in because it's gonna be cold.
Yeah, it's time for you to bust out the long johns, bro. The overalls.
Yeah. I actually have a pair of Bronco overalls too, orange and blue overalls.
Yeah, especially because you're gonna be up in the nosebleed, so it's got to be. I'm trying to remember. Well, when I went, it wasn't cold. I just had the sun.
You're in there late October, and what's nice too, where my seats are at too, like we're in the sun the good majority of the game there until it's late in the like fourth quarter or late in the fourth. But this week, like because it's going to be ending around 4, the sun should hopefully be out and not cloud cover or whatever.
Yo, we got George Montoya.
George,
says, what's happening, Libre and Adon and the special Notorious as a guest? Hell yeah. Let's go, Broncos.
George, do you even Broncos, bro?
George, how are you?
Yeah, George, do you even Broncos, bro?
One thing that I have to say is that one of the games, it was that Chargers game where him and Tim surprised me coming to the game, and then they go, hey, we have to let you know we got tickets for the divisional round, so we're gonna come out here and tailgate and all that. Hanging out with these guys is one of the best times. They're so much fun. It's we just let the party happen, and like, well, who was it? Like Pops comes out, George's Pops comes out to the tailgate as well, and which is so awesome. I already consider them family. So like when I say you guys just come whenever you guys want, if you're gonna come, just come. There's no invite needed. We have food, we have beer, whatever you want, and I have liquor from Breckenridge Distillery. Like come out there, let's drink it up. And of course, and same with you, Notorious. If you're over there, C10, you already know where it's at. So show up. No invite needed. You're always welcome, bro.
Oh yeah, I love going to your tailgates. I'll never forget the first time I went there, and there's so much fun out there. So you're a big fan, and you like meeting fellow fans. Definitely go Libres.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm telling you, Libres is the place to be, man. Nobody believes me, but it really is. I'm so jealous.
And what the funny thing is, you hear it all the time. You hear it all the time from all these other fans and some of the guys from the network. You're like, damn, I wish I'd have been there in October when I was there for the Panthers game. If I would have only known. What's crazy is we didn't know each other until the day after that game.
Wow. But
of course, Tim Dog.
He says, love popping in at your tailgate. You get the party going. Much love, fellas. Got to get Adon out here to tear it up with us.
I've been trying. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't like it that much.
Listen, in case you guys haven't heard the story, me and Libre were actually in the same stadium. What is it? Almost
like two sections away. Two
sections away. So technically we were already there, but we just didn't know each other. And I'll tell this story again because I'm pretty sure I've told it like twice already, but I don't care. Libre's face was on the game flyer for that game against the Panthers that day.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember me and my nephew, we got the flyers and we're walking and my nephew asked me like, do you know who this is? And I said, no, I have no idea who this guy is. I'm like, he must be like a super fan or something. I'm like, you got to be in order to get your face put on the flyer, because everybody sees it. So during halftime, I left my flyer on top of a garbage can because I went to use the bathroom. When I came back, it was gone. So I was like, you know what? My nephew has one, so we'll just keep that one. And then, of course, when we get back to Chicago, he couldn't find it. He left it somewhere at the airport in Denver. So I was like, okay.
I have plenty.
And Johnny, and while I was waiting for my flight in Denver, Johnny calls me and he says, "Hey, have you ever heard of a guy named Bronco Libre?" And I said, "No, I haven't. I don't know who that is." He's like, "How can you not know who that is? He was literally at the game you were just at." I'm like, "Was he? Like, was he? Was paparazzi following him? Like, I don't know what you're talking about." And he's like, "Look at your game flyer, the flyer for the game." And I was like, "I don't know what the hell I did with it, dude." And he sent me a picture. And he's like, "That's Bronco Libre. He was on the flyer." I was like, "That's Bronco Libre, the guy that was at the game and had his face." And I'm like, "How the hell do you know Bronco Libre?" He's like, "Oh, listen, man, I loved your idea about," because I had pitched to him about that I always wanted to do a show called Viva Los Broncos, a podcast of this show in Spanish. But it was just an idea. I never put any more effort into it. This was just when I was just thinking things before I joined Orange and Blue and after I had left MHRT. So apparently during just some random conversation with Johnny before I left for Denver, he was working on it behind the scenes, and he was trying to get other people to come and be a co-host, but they either didn't answer to him or they didn't want to do it. And then Bronco Libre came along and said, "Yeah, I'll totally do it," because he wanted to be, join the podcast world. So I'm over here thinking, I'm like, "Johnny, I hope you didn't go broke paying this guy to come join the network."
He's in huge debt. He's in huge debt right now. He just doesn't know. I haven't sent him the bill yet.
So I'm like, I really hope this isn't something like, because I'm like, "Johnny, you sure like he wants to do this and we don't get like a, hey, so my agent wants to know when you're getting paid" type of thing? Because I don't know if you guys know, but some guests on some shows, they don't go on there for free. The bigger the name, the more it's like chance that they were paid to be there.
Yep.
So I was like, hey, if this Bronco Libre guy wants to take a shot at it, hey, let's do it. And Johnny's all for making the network grow. So he gave Bronco Libre a chance, and we started Viva Los Broncos. That's more Libre's baby than it is mine, because the logo is his and his face is in the intro. Bronco Libre is Viva Los Broncos. Okay. So that's why people love him. They go to the tailgates. He is the heart and soul of that show.
I just show up because I don't want to get fined.
So whenever you watch us, just even though you might not understand us speaking in Spanish, we're literally just two guys just having the time of our lives. And the best part is we can swear in Spanish because it is not censored like it is in English. So
Órale pues.
Órale pues, giving out all the secrets, eh? And Libre and I are hoping to be sponsored by the best tasting cerveza in all of the United States of America, Corona.
Modelo time.
It's Corona. We are a Corona.
Time.
Corona, if you're listening, email me or
Modelo
Johnny
Bronco
Baki.
Libre 303.
Corona, we want your business. We want your business. Broncos Talk 2020 at gmail.com. Send us an offer. I need a fridge packed full of your stuff, because every time I forget, I get too lazy to go to the liquor store and buy more.
That's funny.
Oh, man. But ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of regulation, which means it is now time for overtime. Let's go. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Broncos Talk Overtime. In case you have never seen this part of the show before, this is where Libre and I let down our hair figuratively, and we talk about anything going on in our lives that we deem so fit. And it may or may not come back or tie around back to the Broncos, but if we can try, we definitely will. Guys, we kind of have to talk about the other side of the football spectrum, which is the NFC. Yeah, Libre, you want to say something?
But yeah, before we before we go on, let's get the Tim Dog on tomorrow's show on the Mile High Outcast. He's going to have Orange Vader and Lenny from the Horseman's Tailgate on his show tomorrow. So definitely it's a must watch. Those guys, Orange Vader and Lenny, are some wonderful people. So last Friday we hung out with them during the Friday morning with Channel 2 News. They're doing live segments. So we happened to go out there, hang out for a while, and did a tailgate party. They're going to be doing another one this Friday as well, but this time they're going to have it at Latimer Square. So anybody here in Denver that want to be part of the live broadcast on Channel 2 News, show up at Latimer Square at 5:00 in the morning. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
I'll be there as well with one of my pieces.
There we go. I love that. Yeah.
Oh, you painted that picture behind you?
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't know what Notorious does, bro?
No, I thought you bought it like an auction or something.
No.
Oh, okay,
no,
that's
Notorious.
Nice.
You know what? For everyone that doesn't know Notorious, please explain to us what you do.
All right. So, in case anybody doesn't know who I am, my name is Notorious, local here in the great state of Colorado. I paint and do custom work of all of the local teams from Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche. We'll talk about Rockies at some point. And this is basically what I do.
Look at that. Look at the detail
amazing.
into that right there. Look at that detail that he does. His work is phenomenal. I don't know if you remember this early in the season where he's the one that painted Baki's shoes, his boots.
Oh, yeah. Those were fun to do.
I just remembered there's a video that I saw. I forget the mall I was at, but there's a mall somewhere in Denver, and on the side of an escalator, they painted Broncos on it, and at the very bottom is Russell Wilson.
Oh,
and
God,
some guy was like, "Hey, can somebody come and paint this over, make him look like somebody else? It's number 3." So I think you would be. I think that would be perfect for you, Notorious, because I think you can fix that.
I feel like I can make that great. This one I just recently did, and it was on his story on IG the other day. In case you can't see it that well on here.
Oh yeah.
Wow, he even autographed it. That's flipping nice, man.
Thank you.
If you ever make one of John Elway, send it my way because I need a painting of John Elway like yesterday, and I want to hang it right there.
I actually do have one of Elway. It's not with me right now.
Send it to me, man. I want it or paint another one. I don't care.
Hey, also, anybody here in the Denver metro area that has an office that puts up any type of art in their office or whatever, please contact Notorious. He's looking to get his art out there so that people can actually see it and admire it. And if it is like a sports office type of like an office that caters to sports, he's your guy. Let's get his art out there. Let's people see his art right now. And of course, let's have it available for purchase as well. So help him out.
For sure. Also, just kind of put that out there as well. This year alone will be my last year in Colorado. I am also with U.S. Navy. My contract is set to go active for 2027. So January 1st, 2027 will be my last time in Colorado before I have to get shipped out.
All right. So Broncos country, if you have anything that you want to commission from Notorious, get him in early so that he can get them done for you prior to him being shipped out. And Notorious, I want to say thank you for your service that you're doing for our country, bro. I love that. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, man. As somebody who has family in the service as well, or as that served, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I can't tell you when I was at the Colts game, Every time I saw, and this is just because I was there, but anytime I see anybody, dressed in military, I always stop by and give my thanks. And one guy was like, he's like, "You're the first Broncos fan that came up and thanked me for my service." I'm like, "Hey, it doesn't matter. Like, we might be rivals today, but if it wasn't for you, none of these people would be here today. So thank you for what you do." Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Of course. All right. So now into the overtime. Now that we got those out of the way, what were you going to go with?
Well, I was just gonna say the NFC matchup, Libre. I was really disappointed in San Francisco. I was expecting them to have put more of a fight, and they just from the start, watching Seattle run the ball back, they just ran the 49ers into the ground. Now, granted, the 49ers are beat. They, losing Kittle did them no favors, and they continue to have one of the most injured rosters in the NFL, but I was not expecting them to get steamrolled like that. I was expecting it more to be a close game. Brock Purdy seemed to have gotten into his element. Kyle Shanahan, I thought, was finally going to get it figured out, but it was the complete opposite. And if there was an option to, wave the white flag like you can in Madden, that game would have been over by like the third quarter.
Yeah. And it was the game right after ours as well. And me and my son were trying to rush home to come watch that game. But by the time we got home, because of the traffic and all that, it was already after the first quarter. It was going into the second, and they were already beating them so bad. I'm like, I don't even want to watch this game. Like, it looks terrible. And then that's how it ended, like terrible. And I'm just glad that we didn't watch it, even though like I wanted to watch it because it's playoff football. And it's just like 49ers did not show up whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. It was bad. What did you guys think about the Bears game?
Oh, another great, phenomenal game that the Bears put out there. And I just hated the way that it ended. Like, and again, you think about it, it ended the same way like the Broncos game did, with that interception there at the end. And for Caleb Williams to throw that ball up to tie the game, I said, you know what? They just won this game. I think they won. They're going to win this game because of that play right there. And they just couldn't do it. And Caleb Williams just threw that pick. And sometimes it's the overtime. This was that extra time of the game when some players excel and some people are like, all right, we're just satisfied where we're at. And I feel like that's kind of what Caleb Williams did. It's his second year. He's under his footing, but the transition from year one to year two, the Bears are going to have a good, scary team going forward as well, which I love. And if we can get a Super Bowl, an all orange and blue Super Bowl, how phenomenal would that be?
I have to admit, and I had to actually work that night, but I was surrounded by Bears fans, and the hype for that game was just amazing.
Yeah.
And that game went like back and forth. And what was crazy to me was where I was, it wasn't snowing one bit. And I turn around and look at the TV and it's like flakes falling. So I'm like, where the hell is that snow coming from? I was only like 25 minutes away from downtown Chicago. So that took me for a loop. But that throw from Caleb Williams where he scrambled backwards, literally a page out of the Patrick Mahomes playbook. And he just like somebody's out there somewhere. And Cole Kmet makes that incredible catch. Like the roof blew up on that place because now we have a tie game. Now the Bears have a chance. They took a risk. They gave the Rams the ball first. The Rams couldn't do anything with it. They went 3 and out, punt the ball to the Bears. The Bears are marching. There was no need for Caleb Williams to go throw that hero ball. And I've been arguing with my cousin about this all week. Like, if they would have just dinked and dunked their way into field goal range and let their kicker send them to the Super Bowl, the championship game, that was it. There was no need for him to heave that ball out there and put it where it needed to be, and it got intercepted for, I believe it was the third time.
Yeah.
And while Caleb Williams is highly regarded more so by other people, like it's mistakes like those. And I've said it and I'll say it again. Interceptions, turnovers in the playoffs are doubled in terms of like amplified in terms of bad plays because it is only one game. It is not the best of 4. It is not the best of 7. It is just one game.
Yep.
And mistakes like that are amplified in terms of trying to make up for that mistake, hoping your defense can go out there and get the ball back. They weren't able to, and now the Rams are going to the NFC Championship game to face Seattle. So I will admit, I will give the Bears credit. They got something going. They do need to make some upgrades in defense next year, and they will definitely be a very much more formidable team going into next year. They do have to, Caleb Williams does have to kind of work on his decision making because, again, did not need to take that risk. Not every pass has to be a hero ball. As great as that Komet pass and catch was, it feels a whole lot more like somebody was out there, he just heaved it. But the cardiac Bears, man, it's going to be a thing. It'll be on T-shirts everywhere by September. Watch.
No, I agree with you that probably will definitely happen. But yeah.
But I think you saw the same comment I saw here, Libre, which is something somewhere said Broncos didn't deserve to win and are cooked anyway. So normally Libre and I don't entertain comments like these because, you know, we don't really need to, and haters are going to hate, but we're intrigued something somewhere. And Shai Vargas asked you, how are the Broncos cooked? So if you haven't left or if you're just trolling, which I feel is what you're doing, but we're going to give you the time of day to say your piece, to say why you think the Broncos didn't deserve to win and why they're cooked anyway. So my guess is you're going to say because Bo Nix isn't playing, because Drake May is going to come in and smash the Denver Broncos. And these are two things that I've been reading for the last 3 days and more than likely going to read going into Sunday. Or the third one, that even if they do get past New England somehow, that they have no chance against whoever wins the NFC. And if any of those three of your reasons, or it doesn't really matter what your reason, but if any of those three
it doesn't matter what it is, because the Broncos are going to come out there and play, just like how Don says it. It doesn't matter.
And Libre just hit you with the rock. So when Libre hits you with the rock quote, yeah,
it's over. Look at the episodes leading up to the divisional round. I kept on saying it. People have us down and out because of it. This is what this team does. You count us out, we're going to go out there and they're going to show up and show you why you doubt us. And again, yes, our star quarterback is out for this game, but let me trust in this, that they are not ready for Stiddy City to show up and actually dominate this game, because I already can see it. Because what do you have on film again on him? You don't have much. Because what you have here, like Don was saying earlier in the show, you saw there at the very first year when we took out Russell Wilson. We had those 2 games there. That was his very first year within the system of Sean Payton. Now that he has 2 more years sitting under Bo Nix, being that player there, I've just heard stories today, or even articles that are coming out from the Broncos that some of the media that are out there, that during practices, he is cooking up our Denver D. Like, he's out there and cooking them. Like, and this is one of the best Ds in the league right now. And he's out there throwing dimes, getting it out there. So he is also battle tested as well. He's just not sitting back there and not doing anything during practices the last couple of years. He's been out there doing the work as well. He just hasn't played. And now is his opportunity to do it. And this is going to be the game that puts him on the map. You know, and it might be his last year here in Denver, because he did put this on the map, and he's going to be a starting quarterback with some other team. So it's very possible, but we'll see what happens. But I have, leading up to even the game against the Bills, and even now, I'm not actually worried. And I've said it before in the past. Go back to our shows in the past. If something happens to Bo, and I said this during the season, if something happened to Bo, I have no fear because we have Jarrett Stidham behind him that is ready to go and step up. And it's like this league is always the next man up. Guess what? He's the next man up, and he's ready to go. And I can't wait for it because it's going to be so excited. And I'm so excited that I'm actually going to be there to watch it in person.
Notorious, any thoughts?
Kind of going off of what Libre say. Hold on, let me get real close to the camera. All right, and just feeling off that energy, and also knowing that Jarrett Stidham watches this too.
Steady.
So this is a very, very special message just for Jarrett Stidham and all for Broncos country alone. This is Stiddy City. Sunday, you are going to see it. Jarrett Stidham, you said yourself that you are a starting quarterback quality. You said it during practice. You said it. Everybody says that about you on defense in practice. This is your chance to prove that you are our guy. This is your chance for revenge at your own team that drafted you, that gave you away and put in some other guy that didn't even last that long. Jarrett Stidham, this city is behind you. This is your moment. You have got this. Broncos country is behind you. You are our guy.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
There we go.
Yeah, let's go. I love that. Man, I'm so thank you, Notorious. I am so hyped up right now for that. Let's go. Yeah.
And he didn't respond, which I'm surprised.
Well, you know what? That's okay. I'm going to actually clip that right there, and I'm going to send it to him.
There you go.
I hope so. Because if it's one thing that I hate after somebody says something like that, it's when they don't have a rebuttal. Because then it just makes them look even worse. So
where is something somewhere? Nope. I don't see nothing, bro.
Somewhere.
He's somewhere. Puff pass. That's what I heard.
His cousin says, Notorious, I will get with Libre to talk price on a Nix and Miller painting.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, again, if you have anything with John Elway, if we have to make it from scratch, I don't care. I want it.
I'll show you the one I have so far. I made it like right after that documentary.
Oh, okay, cool.
On Netflix.
Well, let me see if I can show you the one on my phone. Like I have Elway wallpapers almost everywhere.
Look at Shy. Let me pull this while you're looking that up. Mm-hmm. Shy, you know who Shy is? He's our resident hype man right here. And look, you got him hyped up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, Shy. I love it.
If you guys can also put that promo I did for Stidham so I could put it on my IG later.
Of course, yeah. I'll go through tonight and I'll get that out there and I'll send it over to you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. What's up, D-Rock?
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see this because of the glare, but it's like a 3 version of John Elway when he was a player, and then outside of his helmet, and then the other one.
Oh, yeah, I can kind of see, yeah.
Yeah, so like something like that. That's what I have all over my thing. So that's my favorite John Elway picture.
I could definitely do something like that. Showing love to one of the OGs.
Yeah, I mean, he's the whole reason I became a Broncos fan. So I told Libre, and Libre thinks I'm stupid for saying, every time I turn a corner in Denver, I hope it's oh, man, it's John Elway.
Oh, yeah.
And Libre's like, you think that John Elway just walks around like a casual anybody and nobody?
You never know. There's a video of him riding around on a scooter downtown.
You know what? That video that came out, and he was wasted.
Yeah.
When he was on that scooter, he was wasted.
He was like, woo! Did you ever go eat at a steakhouse, Libre, before it closed?
Well, he still has one downtown.
Oh, I thought it closed.
No, the one downtown is still there. He had another one, I think that closed, but he has the one downtown that's in the Ritz-Carlton? That's still open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
I
then he
didn't
has
know
one in
that.
the airport too.
Yeah.
He has one at Denver International?
Yeah, I think it's
No way. I've
section
Well, you
walked that
you never go to that
entire.
concourse
Station
though.
8.
You're always on another concourse. That's why.
Oh well, yeah. I can't afford to fly wherever. It must be on the opposite end because I walked that entire thing. That the last time we were there, we were stranded. So I told my nephew, I'm like, let's just walk and hopefully we don't end up in another country as big as DIA is, you know. And of course, with my luck, I'm at the very end of the freaking terminal, the
It's in
two times
section.
in a row.
It's in Station A. I knew that when I took a trip to Hawaii last year.
The only thing I remember from the Denver International was the McDonald's, but that's because you run into it as soon as you get past TSA. Um, at least through that. And then I remember I got upset because I paid like $3 for a soda, and I'm like, dude, outside this thing costs like $1.
Hey, that's airport prices across the country. That's the same thing at O'Hare.
Yeah, O'Hare is expensive. I bought a coffee there for like almost $3 too, and I was like, dude, this costs like $1 something outside. It's highway robbery, is what it is, Libre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your predictions for this weekend's games. Who do you have playing in the Super Bowl?
Well, on the NFC side, I want to say that technically the Rams and the Seahawks are 1-1 division wise. Rams beat them the first time, Seahawks beat them the second time. So for some reason, the Rams are just playing with this stroke of luck because that's exactly how they beat the Bears. They beat the Bears out of luck. And if they're going to get past Seattle, especially this Seattle team, they're going to need some luck on their side again. They're going to need Sam Darnold to see goals because he has not seen the worst game Sam Darnold has had as of late was against the Colts, where he could not, it was just field goals up and down. So that was the last bad game Sam Darnold had. And then the last couple since then have just been him squashing his opponents. So, and of course, division rivals always play each other tougher because they know themselves better than anybody. But on the other hand, we just saw the 49ers get completely pummeled. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens. But I have a feeling that the Rams are going to finally get the Seahawks number. And I think that they're going to advance to the Super Bowl on that end.
I couldn't agree with you more than that itself, because what kind of quarterback are we getting in Sam Darnold this weekend? Is it going to be like how you said, playing against the Colts and you can't get anything done? They also are going to be without their main running back as well this weekend. So that's going to be a hindrance on them as well. Are you going to make them one-dimensional now? And this Ram defense, you could just see that, just the Rams in general, I feel like they want it more. Like you can see that in them, that they want this game more. You saw it there in the end of the game there with the Bears. You see that they wanted it more, and I feel that that's going to be the same scenario here. Yes, the game is in Seattle. It's at Lumen Field, where to me that's one of the loudest stadiums I've ever been to, and it's going to be a rough game there. But I think the Rams have what it takes to win that game, and it's going to be a Rams-Broncos Super Bowl.
Notorious.
So spiritually, I would like to agree with you guys on that, especially about the Rams, because I feel like the Rams aren't prepared for our defense. Even Puka Nacua said it himself that we were the most scariest team out there. But why I'm shifting more to Seattle. Seattle is unpredictable. That's my thing. If a team is unpredictable, that makes them dangerous. Because I don't remember anybody saying that Seattle saying anything about Seattle making it to a Super Bowl. I remember it was saying like, oh, it's gonna be us against Eagles. Eagles dropped, which that was no surprise. It was gonna be us against Rams, and then Rams kind of fell out of it for a bit, and then it was going to be some wild one gave me. What was it? I'm trying to remember.
Green Bay.
Bears.
I've heard of Green Bay as well. And
Yeah,
Green Bay before Micah got hurt.
Yeah, that Green Bay was way better than Denver in so many ways. So it's gonna be us against Denver, or them against us. But the thing is, why I'm saying Seattle mostly is just because there's no way to get around their defense. Their defense, I want to say, is probably one of the best I've seen in a while. Like, it's almost shades of Legion of Doom, I want to say. So to me, I feel like it's going to be us against Seattle. We're going to run it back again, and then we're going to rewrite history.
I like that. So a repeat of Super Bowl 48. That was in New York. Now Super Bowl 60. I see it. How you are seeing it on the West Coast now with the Broncos and Seahawks, but then a different outcome. I like that.
Mhm.
I like that type of story, and I can see that happening too. And that's probably what's going to be as well, because of that defense that they do have. But again, it's going to be that Sam Darnold, like how I was just mentioned earlier, is who's the Sam Darnold that they're going to get that particular day. But again, he hasn't played a defense like us. Yes, he's played them in practice, but again, they don't touch him in practice.
Mhm.
So once Jonathan Cooper, and Bonito get in there, it's going to be hard. And then with Zach Allen and Jonah Ellis, and it's a lot of people are underestimating our team. Like, yes, they say we might be a good defense, but they don't really respect us. And that's why the Broncos have been doing what they've been doing all season long, is because they're not respected. They think that they can run over us, and they are surprised of what we're capable of doing. And that's going to happen this weekend. It's going to happen again in the Super Bowl. And I want to see if Bo's unable to come back and play and it's Stidham, I want Stidham to come up and say, "This one's for Bo."
I like that. There you go.
Just
one's
like
for Bo.
Pat Bowlen said, "This one's for John" when we won Super Bowl 32. And then when John was able to do that for Super Bowl 50, saying, "This one's for Pat," we have to put it out there. This one's for Bo. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of overtime, which means that this is the end of the show. We would like to say thanks for everybody that was here in the chat with us today. Mahai, Medlock, Juan Marquez, D-Rock. I know you showed up a little bit late, but that doesn't matter. Better late than never, right?
Yes.
Who else do we have here? Somewhere you can buzz off.
We have Tim Dog.
Tim Dog, of course. Shai Vargas. Slickman, I think, was a friend of yours. Jorge Montoya.
I don't even know that. I think they're just trying to have me get some views or whatever.
Yeah, Jay Weaver, Whip Hero. Jay Weaver, hope you're feeling better. And Robert Merrick. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to our special guest, Notorious, for being here with us tonight.
Thank you, Notorious, bro.
For the overtime segment of today's show.
Guys.
Before we head on out of here, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure, if you haven't done so already, if you could please subscribe, share, comment, or like on this and all of the videos that you see here on the network. Your support is very, very much appreciated. For any business inquiries, you can email at broncostalk2020@gmail.com. We would like to say thanks to our sponsor, Dubby. If you use the code OBN10, you'll get 10% off your order at checkout. Again, thanks to Dubby for being a continued sponsor of this and all the shows here on the Orange and Blue Network. For our audio listeners, regardless of what platform you're listening to, if you could give us a 5-star review, very much appreciated. And if you would like, you can screenshot that review and send it to us, and we would read it to you live here on the air. Our names are right there at the bottom. Twitter handles. Mine is at 6'10" Mexican. Bronco Libre is at Bronco Libre 5280. Again, don't forget to show our good friend Notorious some love on his artwork. Hit him up if you have seen anything that has tickled your fancy and you would like to purchase some of his art. Again, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And we will be back next week, hopefully with another victory under our belts, and we can start having dreams of Super Bowl aspirations.
You're talking about playoffs?
And of course, we will be live this Friday. Again, I repeat, this Friday, God willing, Viva los Broncos will be back on the air. So with that being,
viernes, si entiendes en este viernes, vamos a estar otra vez.
There you go. He's Bronco Libre. That's Notorious there on the bottom. I'm Adan Diaz, and this has been Broncos Talk here on the Orange and Blue Network. And with that, we say good night, good day, wherever it is you're listening to. And as always, Go
Go
Broncos!
Broncos! Let's go.
Woo! We're gonna beat them Patriots.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Drake May, more like Drake who?
Drake who?
Drake who? Drake Mayo? Mayonnaise?